Remember that time we tried to build a treehouse in Old Man Hemlock's oak?
He trusted him like a brother. He trusted the wrong person, shared his secrets, his plans, his dreams. But he never imagined that the person closest to him would be the one to destroy everything. Sometimes, betrayal doesn't come from enemies. It doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the people who eat at your table, laugh with you, and call you family. This is not just a story about business. It's a story about trust, about loyalty, and about the painful lesson that comes when you trust the wrong person. This is the story of Daniel and Michael. Daniel and Michael met when they had nothing. No money, no connections, only dreams and hunger for something better. They grew up together, struggled together, failed together. Every small victory meant everything to them because it proved they were still moving forward. Every setback became a lesson they shared, a reminder that giving up was never an option. When Daniel got his first job, Michael celebrated as if it were his own success. And when Michael lost everything, Daniel didn't hesitate. He opened his door without question. They shared meals late into the night, talking about the future they believed was waiting for them. They shared laughs under quiet streetlights and dreams whispered softly, as if saying them out loud might break the spell. To Daniel, this wasn't just friendship. This was brotherhood. And he truly believed that loyalty like this could never be broken. Daniel trusted Michael completely. Not a little, not halfway, completely. He shared every idea that lived in his mind, every fear he carried in silence, and every secret he never told anyone else. His dreams, his worries, his weaknesses. Michael knew everything before anyone else did. Every plan Daniel was building, every hope he was chasing. And Daniel never once questioned it, never stopped to wonder if trust could be misused, never imagined that someone so close could ever turn that loyalty into a weapon. Because when you believe someone is family, you don't think in terms of protection. You don't hide parts of yourself. You assume loyalty is permanent. But loyalty is precious and fragile. And sometimes it only lasts as long as self-interest allows. That trust, Daniel believed it was unbreakable. But very soon,
Who are your sponsors? A few tech companies.
Michael's silence started to feel heavy. Not empty, heavy. He was still there, still listening, still smiling. But his words had changed. The encouragement became shorter, the excitement faded, and the questions kept coming. Every success Daniel shared was met with a pause, a nod, a forced smile. Michael felt left behind. Watching Daniel rise was a constant reminder of everything he hadn't become. Instead of improving himself, he started comparing, and comparison slowly poisoned his thoughts. He told himself it wasn't jealousy, just curiosity, just concern. But deep down, he felt it. That quiet ache, that uncomfortable feeling of standing in the shadow of someone he once stood beside. Envy doesn't announce itself loudly. It grows quietly, patiently. And by the time you recognize it, it has already changed the way you see the people you love. Michael began talking, not loudly, not openly, quietly. In conversations Daniel would never hear with people he would never suspect. Information slipped out in pieces, details shared as if they meant nothing, ideas passed along under the disguise of casual conversation. Michael told himself it wasn't betrayal, just opportunity, just survival. After all, he felt overlooked, left behind, forgotten, and resentment has a way of justifying the unthinkable. Meanwhile, Daniel still trusted him, still defended his name, still believed loyalty was unbreakable. He invited Michael into meetings, spoke freely around him, never once considered protecting himself. Because when you believe someone is family, you don't watch your back. You face forward. But loyalty had already slipped away, quietly, carefully, and the damage had already begun. The betrayal didn't arrive loudly. There was no warning, no explosion. It came quietly. A business deal fell apart without explanation. A client stopped returning calls, then another disappeared. At first, Daniel blamed himself. Maybe he moved too fast. Maybe he trusted the wrong opportunity. But the pattern kept repeating. Doors that were once open suddenly closed. Promises faded. Silence replaced progress. Confusion turned into anxiety, and anxiety into fear. Daniel worked harder, pushed longer hours, slept less. But no matter what he did, something always went wrong. What he didn't know was that someone close to him was quietly pulling the strings. The storm wasn't coming from outside. It was already inside. Daniel couldn't ignore it anymore. Too many things didn't add up. Names were mentioned that only a few people knew. Ideas he had never shared publicly were suddenly being used elsewhere. The realization came slowly, painfully. Someone close to him had been talking. Late one night, Daniel connected the dots, the timing, the information, the access, and one name kept rising to the surface: Michael. The thought felt impossible, unthinkable. This was the person he trusted most, the one who knew his entire story. But denial only delayed the truth. And the truth doesn't disappear just because we're afraid to face it. That night, Daniel realized the betrayal wasn't a mistake. It was intentional.
Why won't you talk to me about this? I can see something's wrong. Please just tell me.
Daniel didn't confront him right away. He needed certainty, not suspicion, not assumptions. But the truth kept staring back at him, too clear to ignore, too painful to deny. When he finally spoke to Michael, there was no anger at first, only disappointment. Daniel asked simple questions, questions only one person could answer. Michael didn't deny it. He didn't explain. He didn't apologize. He stayed silent. Cue. And in that silence, Daniel heard everything he needed to know. No excuses, no regret. Just the quiet confirmation that loyalty had already died. That moment hurt more than losing money, more than losing business. Because when someone you trust chooses silence over truth, you realize the betrayal was never an accident. It was a choice. The damage didn't stop with the business. That was only the beginning. Daniel lost sleep, lost peace, lost his sense of certainty. Every conversation felt suspicious. Every smile felt rehearsed. He questioned everyone. And worse, he questioned himself. How did I miss the signs? How did I trust so blindly? The betrayal followed him everywhere, in quiet rooms, in sleepless nights. Betrayal from strangers hurts, but betrayal from someone you call family changes you. It reshapes how you see people, how you open up, how you trust. Daniel wasn't just rebuilding a business. He was rebuilding belief. And that takes time.
I can't believe you
because some wounds don't bleed. They linger. time. Daniel rebuilt his life, not quickly, not easily, but wisely. The betrayal didn't destroy him, but it changed him. He became more observant, more intentional, more protective of the life he was building. He learned that not everyone who walks beside you is walking with you. Some people stay close not to lift you higher, but to measure how far you've risen. Not everyone who celebrates you is happy about your success. And not everyone who calls you brother has earned a permanent place in your life. Pain became his teacher, and awareness became his strength. Daniel didn't allow the betrayal to make him bitter, but he refused to remain naive. He learned to guard his dreams, to speak less about his plans, to understand that privacy is not secrecy, it is protection, because access to your life is a privilege, not a right. And sometimes the greatest form of self-respect is learning when to step back, when to create distance, and when to let people go. Remember this: trust is powerful, but it should be earned, not freely given. Loyalty is beautiful, but it must be proven, not merely spoken. Protect your heart, protect your vision, protect your future, because sometimes the greatest threats don't come from strangers. They come from the one sitting closest to you.